I sat at my graduation party, watching my twin sister Olivia bask in the attention she didn't deserve. The backyard of our childhood home was decorated with balloons and streamers, but somehow my graduation from business school had become all about her new job. Executive Marketing Director at Phoenix Industries. Mom gushed, refilling everyone's champagne glasses. Our Olivia heading one of the biggest marketing departments in the country. I sipped my water quietly, remembering the email I'd received just that morning. As Chief Operations Officer of Phoenix Industries, I had access to every hiring decision, including my twin sister's application, which had more creative writing than a fiction novel. Madison, Dad's voice pulled me from my thoughts. Maybe your sister can put in a good word for you at Phoenix. I'm sure they have some entry-level positions available. The irony was almost laughable. Almost. That's thoughtful, Dad, I replied carefully, but I already have a job lined up. Oh. He raised an eyebrow, clearly unimpressed. Where? Before I could answer, Olivia cut in, her voice syrupy sweet. Maddie's probably just going to do some consulting work. Until she figures out what she really wants to do. Our assembled relatives nodded sympathetically. Poor Madison, always living in her twin's shadow. Never quite as successful, never quite as driven. If only they knew. Actually, I started, but Mom interrupted. Olivia, honey, tell everyone about your corner office. And the salary, what was it again? $175,000 base, Olivia preened, plus bonuses and stock options. The CEO himself signed off on my package. I almost choked on my water. The CEO hadn't signed anything, I had. And the salary she quoted was about $50,000 more than what was actually offered. You must be so excited to start, Aunt Sarah chimed in. When do you begin? Monday. Olivia beamed. I already bought a whole new wardrobe. Have to look the part, I checked my watch. In exactly 48 hours, my dear sister would learn what looking the part really meant. Madison, Mom turned to me, her smile tighter. Maybe you could help your sister move into her office? Get a feel for the corporate environment. Oh, I'll definitely be there on Monday, I assured her. Wouldn't miss it for the world. The party continued, a steady stream of relatives congratulating Olivia while offering me condolences disguised as encouragement. Your time will come, they'd say, or, not everyone can be an executive right away. I excused myself to the kitchen, needing a moment away from the facade. As I stood by the sink, I could hear Dad through the window talking to Uncle James. At least one of them made something of themselves, he sighed. Madison. Well, she's always been the cautious one. Too afraid to take risks, to really put herself out there. Too afraid? I thought about the risks I'd taken at 22, when I'd mortgaged everything I owned to buy shares in a failing tech startup. How I'd worked 80-hour weeks, sleeping on office floors, eating vending machine dinners, while transforming that company into what became Phoenix Industries. Remember when they were kids? Uncle James replied. Olivia always knew what she wanted. Born leader, that one. Madison just followed along. I gripped the counter, remembering all the times Olivia had taken credit for my ideas, my achievements. Even in school, she'd copy my homework, then somehow convince the teachers she was the clever one. Madison. My cousin Emma's voice startled me. She stood in the kitchen doorway holding an empty plate. Are you okay? Fine, I smiled. Just needed a break from all the excitement. Emma hesitated. It's weird. I applied to Phoenix Industries last year in the marketing department. They're incredibly selective. I have a master's in marketing and 10 years of experience, but I didn't even get an interview. How did Olivia? Good question, I murmured. Very good question. Just then Olivia breezed into the kitchen, her designer heels clicking on the tile floor. Maddie. There you are. I was just telling everyone about my team. 20 people reporting directly to me. Can you imagine? I could imagine quite well. Especially since the actual position she'd been hired for had a team of 3, not 20. And she definitely wouldn't be reporting directly to the CEO, as she'd been claiming all afternoon. That's quite a responsibility, I said neutrally. Managing such a large team right from the start. Oh, I'm not worried, she waved her hand dismissively. Leadership comes naturally to me. Unlike some people, she added with a pointed look in my direction. Emma slipped out of the kitchen, leaving me alone with my twin. For identical sisters, We couldn't have been more different. While Olivia wore a designer dress and perfectly styled hair, I was comfortable in my simple black pantsuit. She commanded attention, I preferred to observe. She took shortcuts, I did the work. You know, Olivia lowered her voice, I could help you get in at Phoenix. Maybe as my assistant? It would be like old times, you supporting me, making me look good. The memories flooded back. School projects where she'd present my work as her own, college internships where she'd take credit for my ideas, family events where she'd shine while keeping me in the background. That's very generous, I replied, my voice steady. But about your position. Oh, don't be jealous, Maddie, she cut me off. We can't all be executives. Some people are just meant to be support staff. I checked my phone. A new email had just arrived from HR at Phoenix Industries, confirming Monday's orientation schedule. Olivia's name was on the list, but not for the position she thought she had. You're right, I said, pocketing my phone. Monday will be very interesting. Olivia raised her perfectly groomed eyebrows. What's that supposed to mean? Before I could answer, Mom called from the backyard. Olivia, come quick. Dad's about to make a toast. My sister flounced out, leaving me alone in the kitchen. I pulled out my phone again, this time opening the real offer letter I'd approved for Olivia. Entry-level marketing coordinator, reporting to a mid-level manager, who reported to a director who reported to me. The party was winding down, but Dad insisted on one final toast. He stood at the head of the table, champagne glass raised high. To my daughters, he began, his smile directed entirely at Olivia, on their graduation day. Though their paths have led them in different directions, we're so proud of what they've achieved. Especially Olivia, who's already secured an executive position at one of the country's top companies. To success. To success, everyone echoed while I sat quietly waiting for Monday to arrive. Monday morning arrived bright and clear. I sat in my corner office on the top floor of Phoenix Industries headquarters, watching the early morning traffic flow through the city below. My assistant knocked softly. Ms. Mitchell? Your sister just checked in at reception for new employee orientation. I smiled, straightening my nameplate. Madison Mitchell, Chief Operations Officer. Perfect. Let's give her the full Phoenix experience. Through the security cameras, I watched Olivia strut into the lobby, wearing an outfit that cost more than her actual monthly salary would be. She bypassed the orientation group, heading straight for the executive elevator. I'm sorry, ma'am, the security guard stopped her. That elevator is for executive staff only. New employee orientation is in the West Wing, ground floor. There must be a mistake, Olivia laughed. I'm the new executive marketing director. I'm supposed to meet with the CEO this morning. The security guard checked his tablet. I have an Olivia Mitchell scheduled for new employee orientation. Marketing department, entry-level position. Entry-level. Olivia's voice rose. No, that's impossible. I have an offer letter right here. She dug through her designer bag, pulling out the letter she'd shown everyone at the party. The guard examined it, then made a call. Sure. Yes, I have someone here with what appears to be an altered offer letter. Olivia's face went pale. Altered? No, this is what they sent me. Call the CEO, he'll confirm everything. The CEO doesn't handle entry-level hiring, a new voice said. Sarah Chin, our HR director, walked up holding a folder. Ms. Mitchell, I have your actual offer letter here. Marketing coordinator, starting salary $45,000, reporting to team lead Jessica Martinez. 45. Olivia swayed slightly. No, there's been a mistake. I was promised $175,000, a corner office, a team of 20 people. Ms. Mitchell, Sarah's voice was professional but firm. Falsifying offer letters is grounds for immediate termination. However, given that you haven't officially started yet, we're willing to overlook this misunderstanding. Your orientation group is waiting. I watched on the camera as Sarah led my shell-shocked sister toward the West Wing. Time for phase 2. Send in the morning reports, I told my assistant. Right on cue, my office phone rang. Madison. It was Mom. There's something wrong at Phoenix. Olivia just called crying about some mix-up with her position. Really? I kept my voice neutral. How strange. She says they're claiming she's only hired for an entry-level job. There must be some mistake. Can't you call someone there? Maybe reach out to HR. Actually, Mom, I can do better than that. Put Olivia on the phone. A moment later, my sister's voice came through, thick with tears and rage. Maddie, you have to help me. These people are trying to humiliate me. Come up to the executive floor, I said calmly. Top level, corner office on the right. But, the security guard said. Just show them your ID. Trust me. 20 minutes later, Olivia walked into my office, her confident strut replaced by uncertain steps. She stopped dead when she saw my nameplate. What is this? Welcome to Phoenix Industries, I said, standing up. I'm Madison Mitchell, Chief Operations Officer and head of all departmental operations. Including, of course, the marketing department. Olivia sank into one of the visitor chairs, her designer dress suddenly looking costume-like in the harsh morning light. How long? She whispered. 3 years, I replied. Remember that consulting work I was doing after college? I was actually helping turn around a struggling tech company. Made some smart investments, worked my way up. Became CEO last year. Why didn't you tell me? I laughed. Would you have believed me? Besides, you never asked. You were too busy talking about yourself. The offer letter. Ah, yes. I pulled up her file on my computer. You submitted quite an impressive resume. 10 years of marketing experience, while we were in college. Executive positions at companies that don't exist. Glowing references from people who've never heard of you. I can explain. Save it, I cut her off. Here's what's going to happen. You have 2 choices. Option 1. You leave now and I'll make sure the falsified offer letter doesn't follow you to your next job search. She swallowed hard. And option 2? You take the position you actually earned. Marketing coordinator, entry level. You work hard, learn the business properly, and maybe in a few years, you'll earn that corner office for real. You're serious? Completely. I stood up, walking to the window. For once in your life, Olivia, you'll have to succeed on your own merits. No shortcuts, no lying, no riding on someone else's coattails. Just then my office door burst open. Mom and Dad rushed in, stopping short when they saw me behind the executive desk. Madison. Dad's voice was barely a whisper. What is this? This, I gestured around the office, is what happens when you're too afraid to take risks. When you're the cautious one, who's always following along. Mom's hand flew to her mouth. You mean you're Chief Operations Officer of Phoenix Industries? Yes. I've been for a while now. Though you never asked what I was doing all those years, I was figuring things out. Dad sank into the other visitor chair. But, at the party, you let us think. I let you think what you always think, I said quietly. That Olivia was the successful one. The achiever. Even when she was lying about her credentials, taking credit for others' work, you never questioned it. Because it fit your narrative. Madison, we never meant. Mom started. To constantly compare us. To praise her every move while dismissing mine. To assume she was destined for success while I was destined for support roles. Olivia stood up suddenly. I'll take option 2. We all turned to look at her. The entry-level position, she clarified. I'll take it. And I'll earn it this time. For real. I nodded slowly. Report to HR. They'll get you started with the proper orientation. After she left, my parents stayed, looking lost in the executive office they never imagined I'd occupy. All those family dinners, Dad said quietly, when we asked about your work and you just said it's going fine. Would you have believed the truth? I asked. Or would you have assumed I was exaggerating like you always did when I achieved something Olivia hadn't? Mom wiped tears from her eyes. We were wrong. So wrong. Yes, you were. I sat back down behind my desk. Now I have a company to run. You can see yourselves out. Over the next few months, things changed dramatically. Olivia, stripped of her false confidence, actually proved to be a decent entry-level employee. She worked hard, learned the business, and slowly earned genuine respect from her colleagues. Mom and Dad stopped their constant comparisons, finally seeing us as individuals rather than competing twins. They hung my executive portrait next to Olivia's team photo at home. Different levels, different paths, both valuable in their own ways. 6 months later, I called Olivia into my office again. She entered differently this time, professionally, confidently, but without the fake bravado. Your team lead says you're doing well, I said, reviewing her performance reports. Top performer in your group last quarter. I actually love the work, she admitted. Really love it, not just the status I thought it would bring. I nodded. That's why I'm approving your promotion to junior marketing manager. You earned this one, Olivia. For real. She smiled, not her old, superior smirk, but something genuine. Thank you, Maddie. Not just for the promotion, but for, stopping me from continuing down that path. Sometimes success isn't about being first or best, I said. Sometimes it's about being honest, working hard, and earning your way forward. As she left my office, I thought about our graduation party just 6 months ago. How different things were now. Sometimes the best revenge isn't exposing someone's lies. It's giving them the chance to find their own truth. I picked up my phone to call Mom. We had a lot of history to work through, but at least now we could start with honesty. After all, success comes in many forms, and sometimes the quietest path leads to the highest peak. Looking out over the city from my corner office, I smiled. The view was better when you earned it honestly.